So in this video, we're going to teach you 3 little tips on how to get a better footage when you're filming at a business event or a trade show. We recently went over to Las Vegas to the NAB trade show, and when you go to an event like this, you want to take as little equipment as possible, but you want to get the best footage. So while we were there and we were walking about the show, we filmed 3 little tips which will help you get the best out of your lighting, the best out of your footage, and the best out of your sound. So these are 3 tips which I think you're really going to be interested in.
If you're recording at a trade show or a big event, we're going to show you a little tip just to get a little bit better lighting. If you're like us and you didn't bring a light with you and you need to film in an area where there's quite sort of a low amount of light, you'll notice I'm not that evenly lit, it's not a great shot. But I'm going to show you just a quick tip to get better lighting. So we're going to move back a little bit, we're going to go over to the Sigma stand, and as we go back here, you'll find that this is just part of someone else's trade show stand, and you'll see already probably my face is getting a little bit better lighting on it due to a trade show stand which is next door. So always look for some either natural light coming through a window, or maybe there's another trade show stand where you can use that light for free. This is just a stand showing off some lenses, but it's giving off a bit of light and it just helps give a nicer glow. We're still in the same area, but the video already looks 10 times better.
So the next issue is sound, and we saw this mistake happening time and time again. I think with a lot of YouTubers out there, you see the kind of kit that they have, and it's often a shotgun mic on top, which is pretty good equipment for most scenarios, pretty good sound equipment for most scenarios. But for a big trade show, it's often not the best thing to use, because if you're trying to film an interview with someone, there's so much noise around you, there's so many people walking around, there's often big trade show stands with speakers on, and all you're going to get is some seriously bad, echoey, horrible, reverby sounding noise, and you don't want that. You want to block that out.
If you come into a big trade show and you want to do some interviews, or you just want to do some product tours, it can be a little bit hard to get some great audio. Now, we've seen a lot of people recording on shotgun microphones, but generally, if you want to record interviews with people, if you want to do some talking to camera like I'm doing now, you may find that the shotgun microphone doesn't do a good job. So what I thought I'd do is, you can see from my angle, it's Andy on the left there and Rob on the right. And on the Sony A7 that Andy's got, we're connected with this dynamic microphone. This is a Saramonic wireless microphone. And if we start with this microphone, you'll notice it's actually quite clear. There's thousands of people behind me walking around. There's big speakers going on. And you should hear that my voice is kind of quite clear. Now, if we switch to Canon M50, which Rob is on, we're using a shotgun mic. It's a powered shotgun mic. So generally for use in the office, it's actually pretty good. You'll find here, with the kind of distance I am away from the camera, which is only about 3 to 4 feet, just the amount of people walking by, you'll probably notice hear their conversation, you'll hear some of the speakers in the distance. It's not going to be your best microphone. The other option, of course, is that you can use a lavalier. So if it's just you walking around, you may find that a lavalier that you can pin to your shirt may work really, really well. But again, the problem with that, if you need to interview other people, you may have a little bit of distance between you, and you may need to kind of offer them a mic. With a lavalier, you can't do that, so you're going to only be able to pick up yourself unless you have a 2 lavalier system. So if you're thinking of going to a trade show or a similar show to this, definitely think about a wireless dynamic microphone just like this if you want to record those clean, crispy bits of audio if you're doing any interviews.
So let's say everything else in the scene is the same. You can't control the lighting, you can't control anything else. What one thing can you do to really get better looking footage, more filmic footage?
So this is all about lenses. So behind me, there's lots of people behind me. It can look a little bit messy. And the way you can get around that is by using a better lens with a lower aperture. So if we go to the Canon M50, this is the kit lens with the Canon, and it's shooting of an aperture of around about 5.6. And as you can see, most things are in focus. It looks a little bit messy, especially if you're doing interviews. There's just too much going on and it's hard to focus on the presenter. If you go to something like this is a Sigma 35mm lens and it's filming around 2.4 aperture, you'll find that the background is much more out of focus. It gives more detail to the presenter or to the object you're filming, and it helps just clean up the shot, and it makes it look much crispier, much more filmic, and it gives you instantly better looking footage.
So here's a quick bonus tip. When you get back and you look at your footage, you may notice it looks quite yellowy or orange, and that's usually due to the horrible fluorescent lights in the ceiling, or sometimes just the fluorescent lights that are around the trade show stand. If that happens, all you need to do is you can just shift your white balance or your color balance to a more blue temperature, just a cooler temperature. And what you'll find is it removes the orange, giving you a much more natural look. So if you get back and you have some horrible orangey, yellowy looking skin from the lights in the ceiling, don't worry, you can change it with a nice bit of color balance. So let us know, comment below, what kind of things are you filming? Have you been to any events where you've had similar problems? You may want to watch our next series of videos. It's all about the creators, and it's the creator series. We meet with some of YouTube's finest filmmakers and get their tips on how to build a better YouTube channel. So watch that coming up next.